In this live video, I'm going to cut straight to the chase and share with you a way of thinking, a philosophy, if you will, that seems to be forgotten nowadays in our domesticated society when it comes to challenges. Okay, a way of thinking when it comes to obstacles in your life, when it comes to dealing with adversity, tough times, hard times, you name it. Okay, this way of thinking has helped me tremendously throughout my life because guess what? I'm someone who has gone through a lot of challenges. I've been through the ringer, so to say, from, a couple examples. This is many years ago, starting out my career. I was almost homeless multiple times. I actually was for a period of time, from being completely broke, from going through a worldwide scandal where literally, the entire world hates you. Trust me, there's something really unique that happens when there's so many people hating you, to losing at one point all of my money, finding myself hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, coming out of that, and new challenges. Life is basically a series of challenges, and guess what? I got a lot of authority when it comes to dealing and thriving in the face of challenges. Okay, so this is what this live video is going to be about, and yes, it is live. So let me start with this. Okay, there are two types of people, and really pay attention and ask yourself, which one am I? Okay, two types of people, and let's just take a situation where, you know me and comparing things to video games. Let's just say that you take these two people and they're playing a video game. Okay, person A, person B, both playing a video game. Person A, they're playing this game and they're running around and they reach an obstacle. They reach a challenge where, let's just say there's something they have to jump over and they keep failing and they fall. And they have to restart the mission, they run up and they fall. And they fall and they fall and they fall. And this happens 20 times in a row. Person A, every single time they fall and have to restart that mission, they get bitter. They start moving down, they start getting frustrated, they might even start self-attacking, like, this is too hard, I suck, the game sucks, everything about this. Who would make something like this? Like, why is it so hard? Why couldn't it just be easy? Like, why can't I just jump over the thing like that? And just start going down this route and eventually get so frustrated that they'll take the controller, throw it, and just storm out of the room and give up. Okay, that's person A. They throw a little tantrum, they feel down, they feel disempowered, and they bounce. Person B, same situation, right? They're playing this game and they reach that point where they have to jump over the thing and they keep falling 20 times in a row. However, this person, with every single time they fall and quote unquote fail, instead of person A where they start feeling down and getting bitter, they start getting better. With every time they fail, it's one more time, let's go. Fail again, one more, let's go. And they actually get riled up. They get fueled by this. They use that as motivational fuel and you see them come alive. You actually see them tap into new levels of potential they didn't even know was possible. You see them light up and they use those challenges. They love the challenges. They lean into the challenges until eventually they make it. They're not the type of person to give up and throw the controller. They will stay there and they will stay there until they make it. It's like, hey, time to put the controller down. No, one more. What type of person are you when things get tough? And it's easy to look at the video game example and be like, well, when it comes to video game, I would do the, person B. Okay, but what about life? How do you react in life when times get tough? Right? When things just happen, you're like, whoa, I did not expect that. When things get hard, right? You might embark on something you feel excited about at first. This is a very common pattern, by the way, whether it's you pursuing a new career, a new task, hey, I want to start this, and you start a little bit, and as soon as it gets a little bit tough, as soon as you hit your first plateau even, you know what, throw the controller down, what's the next flashy thing? What's an easier game I can play? Or you just go back and just give up, like, it's all too hard, I'm going to cry in my bed. How do you react? Is that you? Because guess what? If you look around in the world here today, that is the majority of people. Okay, I mentioned this. We're a domesticated society. People hate challenges. They do whatever they can to design their lives to avoid any kind of challenges. The whole philosophy is, I want things to be easy and I want things to be fast. That's it. If the result doesn't come fast, If the result isn't just very easy, I don't want any challenges. Which one are you? If you're person A and you go into this little grief, sad, bitter mentality, you will not get very far. It is crucial to your success, and no joke, to your well-being, to shift to being person B, where you thrive, where you actually lean into the challenges, where you even welcome challenges. Oh, things are hard? Great. Oh, they're even harder? Great, because I'm going to step it up even more. Oh, another challenge on top of that. Better step it up even more then. Okay, there was actually a client I was talking to this past weekend in my private coaching. Okay, I do a private mentoring, link below this video. And that was the mentality he was in. He was like, you know what, I'm on, it was the second week of the mentoring. He's like, I'm week 2, and one of these missions, you know, it's pretty hard, and I tried doing it, but it was just too hard. And even the tonality, you just sense like this beaten down, just weak tonality. This is in the beginning, trust me. I'll snap people out of this. And I snapped him out of it. And I stopped him and I'm like, listen to yourself. Okay, this is a good audit for you as well. It's easy to see in others, but ask yourself, what's that little inner voice like? Is it a weak, beaten down voice? Like, oh, you know, I tried and it was just so hard. Why isn't it easier? Is it whining right now? Is that you? Is that what you tolerate yourself to be? And I literally asked him, I'm like, what is this? Why are you acting like a sad, pathetic slug? Why are you trying to convince us that you are a sad, pathetic slug? We see past that. Put that pathetic learned helplessness or conditioned helplessness front to the side. Let us see the real you. Remember who you are. Come on. And it took a little while, and you started seeing like some life pierce through that sad, sluggish front, right? You know, we'd talk and we'd dive deep, and I even told him, I'm like, look, this might still occasionally happen to me at times, right? I'll fall into a little pocket of grief. And the first thing I do is I catch it. Okay, awareness is always step 1. But number 2, I will rile myself out of that. I'm like, wait, what is this? Right? You can even like give yourself a little pound of the chest. Like, come on, let's shake this off. Shake off the sluggishness and wake up. And you always have a choice with challenges. You move up, you move down, right? Even with feedback like this, by the way, wake up, you slug. You can be like, oh, you're right, I am a slug. Oh, I'm so pathetic. And that little whiny voice, by the way, can even seem like the hustler anger voice, right? It can seem pretty harsh. It's like, yeah, I'm such a stupid slug, Julian's right. Yet, the question to ask yourself is this leading you towards action or inaction? Is it empowering you or disempowering you? And for most people, it's very harsh and mean and disempowering. That's still the slug. You got to put a boundary on that. You got to put your foot down and be like, enough. Enough of this sluggishness. Let's snap out of it. Right? Even just standing up and changing your physiology a bit, like jumping up and down, because hitting yourself a bit, you know, wake up, come on, enough. Okay, this here is the foundation when it comes to challenges, right? It's no more feeling sorry, let's start embracing it. Let's start using these challenges for as fuel. Let's start thriving off of these challenges. And this here brings in another key component where instead of, and this is what society is trying to do here, where we try to really, you know, make everything as tame as possible, as safe as possible. Let's never encounter adversity and challenges. Let's mold the world so it's just very, very safe. Instead of that, work on yourself. Become stronger. Become more anti-fragile. Okay, this is a great book I highly recommend checking out. Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb. And he talks about this too, right? Instead of trying to shy away from challenges, jump in and enjoy challenges. You need the stressors, right? It's like going to the gym. If you go to the gym, you're like, I kind of want muscles, you know? And you're looking around, you're like, well, the weights, you know, when I kind of lift some of the weights, it hurts a little bit. I don't want that. I'm going to try to design my life where I never lift a weight. No, you need those stressors for your muscles to grow. You need challenges for you to also grow, to feel more secure, to feel more competent. And you can start with small challenges and you work your way up. And if you look back and you're like, look, I overcame that, I overcame that, I overcame that. Any new challenge, bring it. Okay? This is the mentality that's really missing. This is the mentality that I urge you to cultivate if you have fallen into that person A grief, pity party, get bitter instead of getting better. Okay? And there's more coming here, but I'm just going to shift to the chat. This is a live video after all. Okay. Let's see. Sounds like, can someone confirm this is live? Yes, it is live. Don't get bitter, get better. Agreed, right? At any point, you always have the choice. There's a pull that brings you towards getting bitter and disempowered, and a pull where it's like, nope, let's get better. Let's see. Someone's like, why does everyone think that this isn't live? As David commented, it's a joke. It's a joke. Every single live I start that way, and everyone's like, oh, is it? It's an inside joke, right? If you want to be part of the inside jokes, by the way, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you're notified every time we go live, right? It's an inside joke that only the Horde knows. And if you're like, well, what's the Horde? Hey, you better subscribe and hit the notification and hit the like. Trust me, every time you watch a live and you don't hit the like, bad things seem to happen. I wouldn't risk it. Let's see. Lean into it. Life is hard, get harder. I like that. Life is hard, get harder. But this is actually another key thing, right? It's a challenge. You could view it as something that's hard and just got to barrel through, but you could also change the label and view it as something that's good, something that you welcome, something that you embrace, versus this hard thing you must battle against. It's like, whoa, here's a challenge, here's an opportunity for growth. Here's an opportunity to also come alive, right? Back to the video game. If you're playing a video game and it's just way too easy, or you're like on God mode and you're just like, whatever I do, I win the game, it's just so boring, right? You just enter this very derp state. When there is a challenge, it forces you to lock in. It forces you to activate your mind, to become present. You don't have the luxury to just kind of derp out. And even if you audit your life here, the times where you really remember being alive the most, right, where it comes to the surface and you're like, oh, that memory, I'm proud of that, oh, that stood out, oh yeah. Guess what? The times you remember aren't times where you're in a derp state. It's times where you are awake, right, where you awaken, where you lock in, and there is that challenge. Those are the times you truly, truly remember. Right? So even in terms of coming alive, perhaps you need those stressors. Perhaps you need that challenge to be alive, to partake in this thing called life. Right? So challenges, don't view it as bad, view it as opportunities to be more present, be more alive, opportunities to wake up and lean into them, right? Have that aggressive approach. That's another key audit. Do you have a more passive, preserving, protective approach towards life, or an open, aggressive approach towards life? Right? A lot of people try to preserve. It's like, well, this is my health and it's good enough. I'm going to try to preserve that. Oh, these are my finances. I don't want to take big risks. I'm going to try to preserve that. This is my comfort zone, my life situation. I'm going to try to preserve that. No. Don't preserve it. Grow. Jump in. Disrupt all that to build more, to get more, to be more. Right? So no more preserving. Aggressive approach. And a quote that I absolutely love that I have written down here that goes hand in hand with this is from Hunter S. Thompson. Okay, amazing writer. And the quote goes, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid and broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming, whoa, what a ride. You have the choice, right? You can end up at the end of life and you're like, look, there's a preserved body, no challenges, no stressors, no risk. Here, let me return the nicely, not used up body. The other one's like, arrival, turn up, like arm falling up, like, here, what a ride. Now, this doesn't mean be all destructive, be smart, but live. Right? That's the point of life. And, with this idea too of, thriving in challenges, it even goes back to older philosophies when it comes to being a hero, right? Or being a person in the arena, right? Where is that here today? Are you in the arena or are you on the sidelines just watching? Right? Are you trying to avoid the challenges or are you going to step it up? If you think of your life movie, which one is it? Are you like, oh, shy away from challenges? Or, yes, that's right. Okay, so keep this in mind. This philosophy, this way of thinking, game changer, and is getting zapped out left and right. It's very rare to find in people anymore. And audit your life, right? Audit your go-to ways when things get hard. What do? Do you complain? Do you wait for someone else to do it for you? That's another common one, right? You could either be a victim where you're just like, oh, it's so hard, the controller, like that. Or you're just kind of waiting or trying to find someone, will you do it for me? Will you do it? Can you do it for me? What if I complain more? Is someone going to finally do it for me? Versus, I'm going to do it. What about stepping into the arena? Don't wait for someone else to do it. Step in. Thrive. Are you living a heroic life or not? Do you recall a lot of moments in your life where you were locked in, where you're proud, where you're alive, or not? Key audits here. Okay. Let's see. Sounds like To the Bitter End. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yes. Another amazing book and movie. Sounds like, Julien, are you coming to Miami with Owen in December? Maybe. Not confirmed yet, but maybe. However, this actually leads to a very important announcement. This weekend, if you go to virtualworldsummit.com, okay, virtualworldsummit.com, we're running a 3-day virtual live event from Friday to Sunday, virtualworldsummit.com. And the cool thing about this is it's going to be very, very interactive. It's going to happen on Zoom, so it doesn't matter where you live, right? You could be in Miami, you could be across the world. As long as you have the internet, you can connect and go to Virtual World Summit and get direct coaching. Okay, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be super interactive. It's not going to be a large content dump, right? It's not going to be like, for example, this video here where it's a lot of just me talking. It's going to be me unmuting people, unmuting you, talking to you, answering your questions, giving you specific feedback. And not just that, and this is the cool thing about this virtual summit, but it's also going to be me and the other coaches giving you missions to execute on. And there's going to be a private Facebook group where you have to report back on it for each of the days. So it's going to be insane. Okay, if you're someone, once more, speaking about action here instead of just sitting on the sidelines, absorbing content, if you want to, no matter where you live, for super cheap, virtualworldsummit.com, jump on and start taking some action. And you'll see that sense of community, the direct feedback, the action tips. It's going to be a game changer. Okay, so virtualworldsummit.com, happening this weekend. Literally starts in 2-3 days, right? Like in 2 days, technically, because it starts Friday. In 2 days. So brace yourself. Let's see. Someone's like, everything is suck, right? Well, that's what a slug thinks, right? Someone's like, everything in life just sucks. That's, I'm getting bitter. You got to snap out of that. What's a great way to snap out? virtualworldsummit.com. Snap out. Don't let that little slug parasite talk you out of it. Sounds like absorbing content's my kind of deal, right? That's funny enough. Society here today, right? The self-help world here today. It's all about content. We become content collectors, content gatherers, yet very few people apply it. All right, when it comes to actual success, you don't need all that content. A lot of my clients, guess what? They watch more content than I watch. They consume more content than I consume. And they're more stuck when starting out because of that. That's one of the first things I zap out of them to get them to succeed. It's, hey. There's a difference between learning about your problems and solving your problems. Huge distinction right there. Write it down. Learning versus solving. Too many people are focused on learning. What does that lead to? You just knowing more about your problems. It's like, well, I know I have this, and here's why and where it comes from, and you have the whole theory, yet the problem's still there. Learning versus solving. You want to solve it? virtualworldsummit.com. Okay, and click it now, by the way. Go to that website while it's fresh in your mind, before you forget. It's this weekend. Sounds like just bought Transformation Mastery Academy. Nice. Well, there too, there's an action-packed program. You're gonna love it, right? And that's a year-long program too. I'm really excited to see where you're at 1 year from now. It's gonna be a game changer. Knowledge is nothing without application. I agree. Right? It's simply knowledge. Right? A lot of people use it to just feel superior, to feel like they are productive without actually being productive, and they tend to It's a self-help virtue signaling type of dynamic, right? Where you're in the self-help world and you're like, oh, look at what I know and look at what I've watched. And it's like, did you apply it? Right? Don't audit how well you're doing in self-help or spirituality by how much content you know. Audit how well you're doing by looking at your actual life. Hey, what's changing in your actual life, in the real world? Not up here, out here. Let's see. Someone's like, Julien, will you and Owen ever teach parenting? No plans on it at the moment, but I did make a live video about some of the lessons I learned from being a parent. Check it out, right? And as always, make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications so you don't miss out on these. How to avoid burnout after so much challenges? Actually, that's a great question, right? So part one is really shifting away from challenges are bad, right, to loving the dynamic of basking in challenges. But then there is such a thing as, you could say, the realistic challenge, right? Let's say, here's the realistic challenge, and this is the amount of, you could say, stressors that you'll deal with, right? So challenge, this is much. However, a lot of us, we don't experience a proportionate response to reality, you could say, when dealing with challenges, where, let's just say, here's the appropriate amount, but then we start, right, labeling a challenge as bad. So we feel bad about feeling bad about feeling bad. We get scared, we get triggered, and our response, instead of being this, is this. So with a lot of inner work, and this is why letting go is so important, you release all that unrealistic part of it, that unrealistic response. You making it a lot harder than it need be, and you're left with what's real. So if you're encountering a ton of burnout every single time you deal with a challenge, chances are you're not experiencing a proportionate response to it. You're getting triggered by the challenge, and that's something to let go of, right? No matter how much action you take, until you let go of that, you're going to be dealing with that same disproportionate response. So that tends to be the majority of the cases when it comes to burnout. And then the other two is just learning how to deal with it in a smart way, right? There's a challenge, great, but it's not just about like running into it. It's like, well, what's the best course of action? How can I also make it easy? Part of dealing with it too might be taking some time to recuperate, taking some time to contract, right? Expansion, contraction, timing that in, right? Every single day, you should have time where you expand, a time where you grow, a time where you're active, but also a time where you're contracting, not just expansion, contraction. Learning how to truly relax, right? For a lot of people, relaxing is just putting on some TV or something. No, what's true relaxation, right? Meditation is an example, right? Getting on top of your health, getting on top of your sleep, all those things, right? It's sad too that in today's world, you know, there was a meme that was getting passed around, and there literally was like hundreds of thousands of comments. This is a few months ago, of people just saying, I relate. And the meme was, you know, at night you drink wine, and in the morning you drink coffee, and people just shift from wine to coffee to wine to coffee to wine to coffee. Hey, if that's your lifestyle, yeah, you're going to get pretty burnt out, right? It's like that there is not going to lead to really good sleep, and then you're depending on the external caffeine, and it's just like this terrible cycle you're in. So there's a lot of factors there, but in my experience, get on top of all of them, but in my experience, the biggest one in terms of the ROI is letting go. So you don't have that disproportionate response to challenges. Let's see here. Someone's like, Julien, I love you, man. John, I love you too. John Beck, I love you. I'm going through hardship in life. I'm struggling against procrastination. I like listening to you. Great. Well, it's great you like listening to it. However, David, this is key. Make sure you put it to use. Because if you just listen to this and this message doesn't lead to action, then it's no different than you right now watching an episode of whatever on Netflix. No different. This is huge. Anytime you leave a video, a live stream, a piece of content, if you don't sit down and ask yourself, where am I going to apply it? How is this going to affect my life? Then technically it was useless. It was just snobby distraction, where instead of watching some dumb thing on Netflix, you get to feel a little bit better in terms of, well, at least it was productive and there was good information. It has to lead to action, okay? And if you'd like help with that, an easy way, okay, this is an event that's happening this weekend, Virtual World Summit. Virtual World Summit. This weekend, Friday to Sunday, I'm on there. Owen's going to be on there. Jeff's going to be on there. It's going to be crazy. Okay, you're going to get key content, but not a lot. And it's going to really be action-based. So you're going to get a lot of assignments, a lot of missions, a lot of support, accountability. You're going to have to take action, report back, and then we build on it on the other sessions. There are going to be Zoom calls where I answer your questions. It's going to be crazy. So Virtual World Summit. If you know procrastination's your number one thing, hey, beat it by going to that link right now and booking your spot. Let's see. Someone's like, I can't yet real good. I hate saying that. What does that mean? This is another David. David, what does that mean? Let's see. What time of the day is Summit? It's going to be going from 1 p.m. PST, right? So Pacific, to around 6 p.m. Pacific. Friday to Sunday. Someone's like, David, I didn't expect a direct response from you. Action is the key. Of course, right? By the way, this is the cool thing about a live like this. Imagine on Summit, on Zoom, you get to ask questions and we're talking back and forth. That's the way. That's how you get real feedback. Because then I can also get a good read of who you are, learn more about, okay, why are you procrastinating, give you the actual feedback, and give you missions and action steps. All that. Virtual Summit. Let's see. Someone's like, Julian, tell me one reason to not be a billionaire. My question to you would be, why do you want to be a billionaire? And more importantly, how? What's the thing you're going to do that you love doing that makes you that money? It's like Owen and Julien tag teaming our trauma with massive action. I'm in. Yes. Yeah, no, it's going to be really, really sick. Yeah. We haven't done, by the way, even if you've gone to a previous summit, or we've done one or two, I believe, virtual summits before, this one's going to be nothing like those. So even if you've gone to a previous one, come to this one because we revamped it all to be really action-based. You're going to love it. Okay. Once more, virtualworldsummit.com. I'll say it again, virtualworldsummit.com. One more time, virtualworldsummit.com. Let's see. Your body is an instrument to experience and express who you are. Cool. Let's see. Someone's like, do you not get sick like Owen? I haven't really gotten sick in a few years. I want to say 4 or 5 years. Before that, I would get sick like crazy. But no, in the past 4 or 5 years, I haven't gotten sick. The most sick I've gotten is actually right now, where I have a little bit of a runny nose. That's it. Like in the past 4 or 5 years, this is as sick as it gets. Someone's like, how to build momentum? Ugh, don't. I'm not a believer in relying on momentum. You can use it to sprinkle it in, but if that's your main source of action, is always needing to build momentum, that's not good. That means there's a lot of inner work to be done because you need that momentum to battle against yourself versus directly being in a flow. So letting go solves that. Okay, let's see. A few more. Someone's like, this age of limitation when it comes to transforming yourself. Well, what do you mean, Chris? What do you mean by that? Someone's like, I want to quit my job. Okay. Well, what's stopping you from quitting it? What are you going to do instead? Get a fresh ginger drink. Good call, Lee. Good call. Someone's like, more videos about the benefits of semen retention? Have I even made a video about that? Someone's like, and NoFap. I made 2 videos mocking the NoFap that got really popular. Someone's like, how do you know all this? Well, I've been, I've been working on myself since 2006. All right? I'm not new to this self-help world. I'm not the new kid on the block. although I still feel very young inside. No, I've been working on myself since 2006, and I've been coaching people on this, right, on personal transformation, whether it comes to your social skills, expressing yourself, fear of putting yourself out there, being creative, being successful, letting go, changing your experience of you, like all facets really of personal transformation. I've been not only working on myself, but coaching people since 2010. So that's over 10 years, right? Most people at this point, which I'm actually curious, like, let me know in the chat, right? Like, or in the comments below. How many years have you been working on yourself? Since when did you find out about this self-help world, right? When I do live events, it's really 1, 2, 3 years, and then a few under 5, but very few over 5 years, right? So imagine 10 years. Imagine 10 years, this is your life. This is all you do, right? And I've been coaching it around the world, right? A typical week for me prior to the whole, past year and a half, it's every single week I'm in a new city, a new country. I'm doing multiple live events in that city, right? Big events in front of hundreds of people, smaller events. I'm recording content. I'm talking to clients. I'm talking to peers. I'm getting coaches myself. And all I'm doing is living in this self-help personal transformational world, right? I'm seeing patterns within clients. Oh, that happens to this. Oh, that personality type links to this is this. And imagine you do that for over 10 years, right? And it's not just your experience, it's clients' experiences built on top of yours, built on top of that long period of time, on top of talking to other people who coach, on top of getting coaches, on reading about stuff, exchanging notes, That's what leads to this. You can't just skip to this. You can't be like, oh, I want that. No, that's literally 15 years plus, working on myself, 10 years plus, teaching it. And at this point, I've personally taught tens of thousands of people face-to-face, millions online. Right, so that too, it's not like, I'm a coach and I've coached like 10 people. No. So people tend to forget about all that. But that's me. Let's see. Someone's like, how old are you? I'm actually turning 33 on Sunday, right? On Sunday, a day that there's Virtual World Summit. So Virtual World Summit. Make it happen. But yes, now I'm turning 33 on Sunday. Okay. Someone's like, yeah, I've gone into self-help maybe 2-3 years ago. Right, so imagine you multiply that, right, till you reach 10 years or so. And not just casually going out about it, but intensely going about it, right? That's just the teaching. Imagine 15 years intensely also working on myself. It leads to a lot of deep understanding. And this is also what makes being modest a coach a good coach, right? Whenever I talk to someone and, coach them, and here we can't really do it because there's a screen. I don't see you. I just see some comment. But if you join, for example, the Virtual World Summit, or if you join my private mentoring group, there's a link in the description or below this video. That's where I truly get to work on you. That's where you truly benefit from my expertise, so to say. It's not from the free videos here. They're fun. They're educational. Sure, right? They kind of open your mind to what this is about. But the true work is, hey, jump on Zoom. Let me see you. Let me talk to you. Let's see what's going on. And that there, again, you'll say something or I'll get a feel for you and it'll remind me of all these other clients. And then based upon that problem, if I said something this way, that solved it for them, and like, I'll know exactly what feedback to give you. And the cool thing, because I've also been doing it this long, is I'll know what feedback to give you, but also know what feedback works long-term. And this is terrible with a lot of newer coaches. Again, nowadays, everyone and their mom's a coach, is they don't know what works long-term. So they might give you advice that looks good and is flashy in the moment, but it doesn't stick in the long run. Another nuance. Okay. We're going to wrap it here. Brace yourself for more videos, more lives. Make sure you hit the subscribe and the notification, and also make sure you hit the like button for this video. Trust me, I know, it's like, I was going to be like, I know it takes a lot to click on the like button, but no, it doesn't, right? All it takes is for you to move your finger and go like, or move your little mouse and click like. If you're too lazy to do that, oh, come on. That's all I ask for, is one like. Trust me, your like will determine how much this video will be distributed. You have the power with one like to send this video off to 50 to 100 to 1,000 more people. So like it up, okay? And if you don't click the like button, there is a curse. You can believe it or not, you can take the risk or not. If If you like it, the curse is lifted. If you don't like it, well, look back at this moment a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, when that horrible thing happens to you. When you're there, you might even be old. You might even be 80 years old, and this tragic thing happens to you and your family. You'll remember this moment when you didn't click the like button. And you'll be like, I could have lifted the curse with one little click. The choice is yours. That being said, for those I will be seeing at the Virtual World Summit this Friday to Sunday, Virtual World Summit, save your spot. You're going to love it. Go to that link, secure your spot. To the rest of you, make sure you like to lift the curse, subscribe, hit the notification, and comment. Right? Comment below your biggest takeaway. Comment how long you've been in the self-help world. I do want to know. And as always, until next time.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like, this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.